Chiefs Kingdom, you are still alive. What a game. This was the tale of two halves, tale of honestly 3 quarters and 1 quarter, the whole 9 yards. We're going to get to it all. Welcome to RGR Football Live after show. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. The Chiefs hold it up. When they started to look like their old selves in some significant ways, and listen to exactly what we told them to do to get this W. They changed a couple things they had to. I'm proud of you, Andy Reid. I'm proud of you, Matt Nagy, for changing some of your strides and listening to Daniel and I, because they had to run to win, and they did it. Kareem Hunt, I put him in the cold tub right now. Somebody carry him in there and help him, man, because he had to put it on his back. He ended up out-rushing the best back in the league this year, and that's what stands out the most to me. Dan, what's your top takeaway?
My biggest takeaway here is that they actually, like you said, they actually adjusted a little bit. And honestly, it wasn't just the run game. It was attacking deep intermediate parts of the field, because those, I know they were like shutting down the underneath stuff. Patrick was misfiring a ton. By the way, not his best performance. This was not a great look from Patrick Mahomes. He did not have a good game, but he came in the clutch in a couple of times. You saw some of the high throws, but I thought this was a good starting point to where they need to be, because you can't just keep trotting out there throwing hitch routes and spot routes to Travis Kelce and Rasheed Rice for 4 quarters and expect defenses to not do it, and throwing RPOs out there. You notice how the RPOs went away after that pick? You want to notice that? Like the Colts almost knew it was going to happen, because we've been saying stop hiding behind RPOs and just call a run game. Just call a run game.
And that's what happened. And that's how they got this done. Make no bones about it. They got this win because of the run. And kudos to them, because I was concerned when Tracy didn't come out at halftime that they were just going to say, oh, holy hell, we can't do this. Caliendo was not good. He was subpar the majority of those snaps, but they got enough. And in the fourth quarter, I will say I thought he improved a little bit so that he wasn't getting destroyed. And they had to move around him a little bit, but Kareem was able to do that. Kudos to Kareem Hunt, because his second effort got a lot of those first downs, got that score, got a lot that you have to give him personally credit for. But I will say this, my biggest note, the one that's in all caps, is Creed Humphrey got that touchdown as much as Kareem did.
Yes.
Because he destroyed that block in front of him. It was beautiful.
I want you guys to know that in the fourth quarter, I stopped watching the game as an analyst and I started watching as a fan. I want you to know that because I had to change something up, and it wasn't so much like a superstitious thing, but I've been watching football as an analyst for so long that I just needed to kind of let it go. And I didn't think they were going to win this game. I didn't, especially in the fourth quarter when you're down 20-9, and you've had a touchdown taken off the board wrongly. You've had a fumble inside the red zone and multiple penalties, special teams penalties. Dave Toub should be fired. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm going to say it now at the beginning, because I am so tired of seeing the same things over and over again from Dave Toub. We have seen penalties every single week. And Nico Remigio refusing to just let the football go into the end zone and fielding every punt inside the 10-yard line where you have no field position. It's ridiculous.
It is worth the risk there, and that is exactly the note I mean. It's worth the risk. If it's at the 10-ish, even 8-ish, to let the dang thing bounce. Yes, there is a small possibility that you get stuck inside the 5-yard line. You have to take that risk, because by fielding it there, you risk not only the same terrible field position, but getting your ass lit up and losing the football. That is not the way to do that. I think that they're going to have to make some changes. I did like the single back mentality. Like, you know what? You want to kick away from the guy we want to get it? We're just only going to put him back there. Yeah. It does have its own risks, but they had to change some things up, and I'm glad that they did, folks. We are going to take some of your questions. We are running it down from our notes so that you get our hot takes, everything that we saw live. I appreciate you guys for being here. We do have super chats in the house already. We are going to jump into them right away because I don't want to miss you guys. But everybody take a breath. This is a nice W. Just knocked off what had been the best offense in the league and the best team in the AFC. Now you took them down a notch and took yourself up a notch. Now somebody has to go beat those Broncos before you get a chance to get your revenge. There's a lot coming. But as Angler said, it's a little high strung right now. We're going to be all right. Did we get it right today? And Kyle, thank you for putting this as a question. Thank you for the support, and thank you for being a member. I will say this, 40 called runs. I'm taking Patrick's out because most of them were not by design. So 40 to 50. That's even more than I would say. That's a 44% run rate. That's even higher than I always cry about, but this is beautiful. Does it have to be this high? No. I think you can get to that 38 to 40% range. It does what this game did, but it doesn't have to be as dramatic. Let's be real, too. Rashee Rice looked terrible in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get to the route. Then all of a sudden, I don't know why, especially hurting, and I am concerned about the soft tissue injury.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he was able to dial it up. And I don't know what that is, but this team in the fourth quarter, after like lumbering through this, looked like they have a spark of their old selves. And they have a spine of their old selves. I can't say that they're all there, but this run game and this physicality certainly helped them find it.
Not just that, let's give a tip of the hat to Spags and the defense, where in that fourth quarter, 4 straight 3-and-outs, that is execution at its finest, because you didn't see them get a bunch of negative plays. It was, you got a negative play here, you got a decent play here, but then on third down, they just locked up. Chris Jones, but I want everyone to go back and watch the film review on Chris Jones that I did in the bye week, because I told everybody it was coming. He didn't get a sack in this football game. You want to know how many plays he impacted? Just about every third down. And he was in the backfield nearly every single time. And this is where you have to be. He was doing the same thing last week too. The offense didn't pick Chris Jones up in that game. They didn't do a great job behind him either. But overall, it felt like this was a game that they were going to lose with all the different miscues, right? They have the fumble. You have an interception that should have been by Chamari Connor that Nick Bolton gets in the way because he's just finally in the right spot for once. And all of these things come back and they fight back to be able to take over and win a football game that they should have probably lost with everything that had went against them, as well as not playing well in the first half of this game. So when you see the offense start running the football efficiently, not necessarily explosively, it's efficiently, and then the offense start to work red zone. This actually feels like the Chiefs team from like 2 years ago, where they had a bunch of drives and they just couldn't get it in the end zone. And that's how it felt today. You settle for a bunch of field goals when you should have had touchdowns. And overall, they were able to just kind of fight into that situation to put themselves in it. And the defense bailed them out, where once again, you gave the Chiefs the football with 7 minutes back and they went 3-and-out. And then the defense went, hey, we'll go ahead and get you the football back. And then you unfortunately can't score a touchdown and win there. You do it in overtime. But still, that's what you have to be able to do in some of these rough kind of slugfest matchups, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it takes. Kudos to Gary, one of our mods. Everybody say hi to him. Another one, FLDB, is here, and he has a very good point. If you take away that 3rd-and-1 run that popped for 27, it's a 31-yard day, and that's a very good point, FLDB. In the end, Kareem Hunt doubles just about Jonathan Taylor's yardage on this game, and they run for the same average, except for a rounding error. One's going to come out at 3.5, one's going to come out at 3.6. They are literally that close. It's just a rounding error. And that is due to the defensive and offensive lines and who was winning where. It's not that Taylor had a bad day. It's that the Chiefs defense actually stopped him like they're capable. It's not that the Colts defensive line was terrible. It's that Kareem Hunt and the offensive line raised their game. This is what they're capable of, and this is what they have to get back to. It shouldn't take so long to uncover this. This is the problem. They had to go dig deep and find it. You correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but on that goal line, I believe they ran duo to get those double teams, because I saw Kingsley come inside, and I also saw Simmons doubling with Morin as the 6th lineman. So I will say this too. I thought it was very key for a guy who was out with a concussion to come back. I think Travis Kelce celebrated with Kingsley at one point because he is such a key part to being able to run the ball on that side.
He's been fantastic, guys. I know he had the penalty, which I don't agree with the definition of a blindside block when you can see the guy coming at all. Agreed. I don't agree with that at all. It makes no sense. Like, I get by the definition of what they call it. It's a penalty, but it shouldn't be, because Trevor Ward could literally see the guy coming at him. However, I think that Kingsley's development, confidence, and physicality, his size as a guard is helping them, that left side, hunker down and get movement. even though they run the ball to the right, maybe that's just because Kareem Hunt is far more comfortable running to the right. It feels like he's going to the inside or to the right side almost every single time. But I would like to see them try to run under center to the left, like get some outside zone. I am concerned now with Brashard Smith. They refuse to run the football with him. Like they objectively refuse to do it, which I think is a problem for their offense, but it might also be because he's just not picking up the offense. And in that situation, there's more of a problem there. But I'm trying to figure out the disconnect because he ran inside outside zone in college. Why can't he just do it here? Why can't you just let him do it here? What's going on? Why won't Andy Reid trust a 7th round rookie pick who is the most explosive player that they have in the backfield to run the ball every now and then? Because the problem becomes when he's on the field, everyone knows it's the pass. Everyone knows.
Yep. And that is a problem. I can't tell the reason why. I wonder if it's that they're saving him. Like you said, he has come a long way. I think that he can run inside the tackles at this point. I was really reluctant early in the season, but now I'm fine with it. I think also you have to guard against overloading Kareem at this point. Now, maybe Pops is back next week and it's a 1-2 punch, and that's fine. But I think Kareem has done a very good job in saying, hey, I really am the lead back here, because I don't think, even if Pacheco healthy, that he can do the inside runs that Kareem is doing. I just don't see it, but maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Kyle, thank you. What we did today is show balance in the offense. I know it's weird. That's what happened today. Thank you for your nearly 5 years in the memberships, Kyle. Appreciate you. By the time the draft rolls around, you will be one of our premier 5-year club. It's going to be pretty impressive. Cheers to you, buddy. Folks, if you wanted the memberships, you can join them. I think Minotaur's already probably given some away because I'm coming up to that one. So if you got that, you can say thank you to Minotaur. And our members get inside stuff like rants, things that we don't want to put rants in public because we generally cuss when we're not on public. You get my notes, the whole thing. Like, you can have it all if you get to the rookie level or above. Perry, thank you for your support and being a member. Great win. Mahomes looked antsy in the pocket. Don't understand the gun bootlegs and red zone calls. D played great. Good things happen when you stick to the run. You do, and you limit the fact that you didn't give Mahomes more chances to run out of decent pockets. I will say this, though. I felt like he settled down there under 8 minutes in the fourth, and I felt like he wasn't getting himself caught as much. It's the fact that when a defensive lineman gets so deep and you undercut it to escape, unless you actually escape and take off, that lineman has a chance to disengage and come after you and actually hit you. It's because he's escaping, but he's also still looking to throw. So he's not making a decision to run. If he does that, he's fine. It's the linger that gets you on those plays. But I agree. I think he found a little bit of the mojo there is what it felt like to me, Dan.
I mean, maybe a little bit in the pocket because he was just running clearly into pressure multiple times in this football game. Patrick ran into pressure, 3-man rushes instead of staying comfortable in the pocket, keeping your footwork nice. He was getting too antsy. He was moving into pressure and getting tackled. Like, it was not a good performance for Patrick. I don't care how many yards he put up. I don't care what he ended up doing. The only reason they actually won this game is because Rashee Rice bailed him out of a bad throw. Like, that was a bad throw. He missed Travis Kelce wide open, and he should have thrown him for a touchdown on the right-hand side. He had him wide open there. He had multiple opportunities to throw the ball down the field, but everyone wants to talk about the wide receivers not winning, except they are winning downfield. Now, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is gun-shy. He's not throwing the ball because he has been airmailing everybody, and now he doesn't want to hurt the offense. That's a problem.
Yeah, you got to reset that because I think the throw to Xavier for that last chunk was behind him as well.
It was behind Xavier.
If it wasn't for him adjusting, that isn't a completion. So I agree with you. He's got to resettle.
That should have been touchdown. He threw it behind and allowed it. Just throw it where it needs to be. And everyone wants to blame everyone but Patrick for the most part. And I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I understand there are parts of every receiver's game that they need to improve upon and develop. Those are facts. That's a true statement. But sometimes playing quarterback, hit the open man. Guess what? He's open. Throw him the damn ball.
And they did a good job sustaining drives. That happens when you do that as well. If they're leaving something, take it. A win against Lou, I will say this. I thought the Colts players played Lou's system nearly as well as the old Bengals.
Yes, I would agree.
So kudos to them. But to get a win against Lou is a good thing for Patrick Mahomes because he's been gotten many times. Thank you, Minotaur, very much. You guys give him a hand. I feel 5 years older after that one, but good win. Well, you're over 4 years with the membership, so that would be pre-RGR. So, buddy, I hope that you're not. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you. And Angler, what's next? No way Hunt can keep that up. You're absolutely right. They have to rest and recover. I think they felt a little more comfortable because they got Pops back at practice this week. They chose to leave him so that he didn't press anything. I think he'll be able to go next week and take some of that load off of Kareem and get back to a bit of a split there. The committee is a good thing for this team. Thundarius, nice to see you. Cardiac Chiefs, I love that. And everybody go check out Thundarius's channels. Throw them in the chat, would you, Thundarius? I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the support. Metal, nice to see you, and thanks for the support from you. We got the win, and we were able to do it in OT. I am so happy with this. Thank you for doing it. Please get Damian Pierce if it helps, and thank the Lord for this win. We need to get a W on Turkey Day. Yes. I agree. There are players that you can go get. Martinez is another. Damian, Edwards, I still like. Just bring in any running back off the street. It's cheap. You can do that. There's no way that they can just continue to run this.
No, at this point, the fact that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is getting carries and Elijah Mitchell was deactivated after being activated last week tells you everything you need to know. And the funny thing about this is that we all knew that they didn't feel good about Elijah Mitchell, but Andy Reid coming out saying they feel good about him and then deactivating the week after last, it just tells you everything that we know already going in. And I know that there's a lot of like down talk, right? Because this was still not a good performance from the Chiefs by any stretch. Right. Like they played a poor football game. And when you win games like this is what the Chiefs had been doing last year. That gives me a lot more confidence that maybe they found a little bit of that mojo where they're able to get out there and execute a little bit better and actually find some of those plays in the fourth quarter in overtime that gives them the confidence to play a little bit better because the offense definitely attacked the intermediate, deeper parts of the field like we asked them to, right? Mm-hmm. Rashee Rice deep over. The first on the second drive, they hit Xavier Worthy on an end round. I'm like, hey, over the middle of the field. It's good. And then they never did it again until the fourth quarter. They just didn't do it.
Amazing what happens when you do what we ask you to do, Andy. Tyler, thank you. We had a running back cross 100 yards, over 100 yards. Look what happens when you run the damn ball. Absolutely. And you do have to dedicate yourself to it. So as FLB was saying, 41 rushing attempts for non-Mahomesians, and that's important. That's a lot, and I love it. I wish it hadn't been all on one back of his age at least. If it were the youngin, okay, that'd be a different story. But a guy with his mileage, you got to be careful. Just proves we need to improve our running game. Definitely do. It also proves that Caliendo is not the backup you want. He is not the guy for this job. Okay? They're stuck with him at this point. But when it comes down to camp next year and we're telling you, hey, this isn't enough if somebody gets hurt. Trey Smith had not missed games until this season. Between the back, everything else, I think it was a shoulder earlier in the season that bothered him, right? Like, if you are without Trey, bad things are going to happen at that position. They don't have – I personally would try Norzad because I just don't like what I'm seeing from Caliendo.
No, that's fair. I think, again, Andy Reid, sorry, there's a gnat in here, guys. It's getting warm over here, and they just kind of appear when it gets warm. It's like 55 degrees out right now. It's crazy.
Wow, so much fun.
I think that – I know, right? Caliendo is fine comfort level-wise for Andy Reid, but there's just no upside from the player that he is. And multiple times you saw him just get deposited into the backfield. I also – not all his fault on the goal line carry. They went and did the exact same thing twice out of the same formation. Not my personal favorite thing in the world. I did not like the play call. That made me mad. I wish they would have gotten under center and kind of just run the ball there either way. Caliendo, there's no physical power there. He does not have the tools to move guys at the point of attack as a guard. You're playing against defense tackles that are 330 plus pounds. Caliendo he's just not that kind of player. So in the run game, you're missing everything Trey Smith gives you. He's a fine pass protector, and that's what Patrick Mahomes wants, but you need to be able to run the ball. So that's what we're seeing here.
You have to. Kyler, did running the ball this much cause issues? Excuse me, folks. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm trying here. Other than the fact that what it did is it led to they don't have a wide enough variety in their run game. Mm-hmm. So it led to some predictability, and particularly on the goal line, like Dan just said, running the same play twice. That caused some issues, but pure principle of running the ball that much, no. That allowed them to get this win. Without running the ball that much, they lose this game. There is absolutely no doubt. So they had to have this.
Correct.
Angler also pointed out Spags finally let him loose. What did you think was the turn there?
It was just they finally decided we can't just sit back. It felt like something just clicked in Spags and like, look, it's 20-9. We can't just sit back anymore. Like you can't just run 4, and Chris Jones is the only guy giving you anything, because when he's the one guy that gets doubled or the one guy that doesn't win on that play and nobody else is winning, you don't get pressure. And Spags said, F it, we're done. I have to be able to put guys in man coverage. Jalen Watson had a fantastic game today. A couple of big PBUs. I think Bryant Cook made a couple of big plays. Yep. And we finally, you guys wonder why we've been asking for Jaden Hicks to play more. He saw that route so fast, knew the ball was coming out. He got there in the blink of an eye. And the one guy who continued to make poor decisions and poor plays was Chamari Connor, who got beaten up in this football game multiple times. And then the one time he makes a good play, Nick Bolton says, no, I'm going to take that away from you because I'm also in position here and I want to try to get a pick. So I thought that Spags finally just kind of relaxed his shoulders a little bit. It felt like he's been doing this a lot all season where, okay, I need them to be perfect here. I need you to be doing a good job here. I need the defense to play the back end to be in the right spot. And so I have to juggle all this. Sometimes just relax a little bit. And Drew Tranquill made the best play of his football season in 2025 on that TFL on third down.
He did.
That was the best play he has seen. He must have recognized exactly what the Colts were going to do, and he got in that gap so fast. When they can actually see and react and play quickly, this defense still has what it takes to make it really difficult on NFL offenses.
It certainly does. And you saw specifically exactly what we asked for, is that Hicks on Warren, on the tight end that you got to cover, physicality, being able to be there, that worked. We saw CRW out there making some plays, being active as we have asked for, right?
Another one here from just real quick from CRW played well also. Absolutely did. Like, this was a really fun game to watch. I thought that little out route from Josh Downs, Chamar Connor would have fallen on his face. But CRW stopped, he turned his hips, and then he tackled him. You get another down on a play where you probably should get beat for a first down, but you give your defense a second or a third down in those situations. That's the kind of play you have to make. On top of it, he was just good. This is why we've been asking to see CRW. He gives you a real slot player who you can rotate back as a safety, but he sees he can trigger downhill quickly and get his hands on football and keep up with some of these faster receivers.
Early, he also got a couple of pressures, I believe. I want to say it was 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they were sending him, rounding into a fuller game, a la Trent McDuffie, right? Where when you need to send somebody, he's somebody who has that capability. I think Watson blitzes well as well. So a lot there. Early numbers on pressure. This is not confirmed. This is just live from PFF. It looks like Chris Jones 4 on the day. Did contact the quarterback a couple of times, but that's all the contacts they have. I thought George actually touched him at one point. Was I wrong?
I think I didn't see him get there. I saw him get a win, but I didn't see him touch anybody.
Okay, gotcha. Black and Gold, thank you for being a member and for the support here. Special teams so bad. It's not coming together. I will say this. I was shaking nearly every time Bucker was going to kick something, and he didn't make any significant problems today. It was more in the return games.
All looked good.
That is incremental progress. I will take that. Thank you, Black and Gold. Tyler's got another one. You think the Chiefs realize now that this offseason they need to get a running back? Been a long time. I think they probably do. I think they're probably still going to stay cheap. I hope that if they're able to make some moves, that they're able to get more 4th and 5ths and invest in someone they think can actually do that. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see 7th round picks, free agents, et cetera, and we're just going to have to see what pieces together. Do you think anything changes?
No, I do. I think that this is going to give because even when Pacheco comes back, he's not giving you what Kareem Hunt at his age is. Kareem Hunt was a 3rd round pick. Okay. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking for a day 2, a 4th round pick, somebody who has actual talent. You're going to find those players. You're just not going to find them as often in the 7th round. I'm not saying you can't, but typically you're not going to. So I do think they're going to try and at least add some real talent to the running back room this offseason.
Yeah. Cody said, happy we won, but holy crap, we're sloppy. Thank you, Cody, and good to see you, pal. That is definitely it. Most pressures allowed today. 0 for Creed, 0 for Kingsley Suamataia, 5 for Jawan Taylor that you're paying a boatload of money. At least he didn't line up outside of the line of scrimmage this time. That's all I have as a positive.
And it really wasn't his fault on the penalty.
Agreed.
Because I'm still baffled by that. And I'm going to say that they were like micromanaging a lot of this. The referees were on both sides of the football. There was a lot of micromanagement, but it felt like every time the Chiefs were in position, and specifically in overtime, we got to take a look. We got to take a look. That was a little weird. I'll be honest with you. They didn't do that at any other point, but do what you got to do in overtime. There's no reviews, so it is what it is. Also, hats off to Noah Gray. Hope he's okay. I know he probably wasn't thinking about catching the football at that moment, but he did a fantastic job doing it and allowed the Chiefs in that position. But hopefully he is okay, because it's not a fun injury that he might have right there.
Yeah, I did not see any initial. I am hoping it's not an AC joint or a clavicle.
They said concussion.
Oh, is that what they said? Okay, good. Whew. Okay. Hate to agree with Romo, but Pat was rushing his progression and bailing out. I don't even know if it was rushing the progression, other than that he was just being too picky. Like they showed a play that Rasheed had beaten somebody. They showed another play where Kels had beaten someone. If you're going to take a stab at a ball that is iffy, make it to one of those two guys. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me. That looks like early progression, but I think it's just like a negative decision. Like too early with unwillingness there. And again, as you said earlier, Dan, not being willing to put anything in play for fear of ruining that ball game. Honestly, his interception, once again, put them in a position where they nearly lost this game again. So it is decision-making, and I can understand how he's a little tight with that, but it's got to be, you pick your spots better when you are pushing for it. So
yeah,
and the clean pocket we've addressed there, but thank you, 8288. Appreciate you. Battery not required. Got to give some love to Worthy getting involved. What did you think of his day?
Honestly, I thought that Xavier had a pretty good day. Right now, maybe not right this second, but over the last couple of weeks, he's been getting killed online because he's playing through injury and trying to not aggravate it, in my opinion. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. All I know is that he tried multiple times to bail out bad throws from Patrick Mahomes, and he did bail out a football behind him where he had to come back to it. And I think that if the Chiefs utilize him this way, where he's going over the middle of the field a little bit more and running real routes, I'm totally okay with it. I've said that there are still things he needs to work on in his game to improve as a complete receiver, but he's a good route runner. And he got held by Travarius Ward on the route. Like, let's be honest, he got held. We are here talking about, we can't create separation against man coverage. Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're getting held through the route. Okay. And again, that's not on the receiver to win. It's on the referee to call it so they stop holding it, so he's winning on routes, because he would have burned Travarius Ward on that out route. He would have burned him because he won inside and was crossing across his face, but instead he got held. So there's levels to this. He still needs to improve, but we are talking about a guy who I think multiple times today was underthrown by his quarterback and left out to dry a couple of times when that wasn't his fault.
Agreed. When you look at the stat line for the day, 66% to Rashee Rice for 141, couple of big chunks there. 50% to Xavier for 60, number 2. 66% to Kelsey for 43 yards. Those are your top 3. Those should be your top 3 receivers in yardage and touchdowns every single week. That's the way it is designed to be. And that looks maybe not optimum, but looks closer to the way it needs to be than it has recently. So I'll take that as a plus. Real KB, appreciate you. Kareem came to play for sure. Thank you for the support. And I just hope that it's not too much, that he can do it again next week if he needs to, if Pops isn't ready.
He's going to be in the hot tub all week. All week, man. All week long.
He's probably in a cold tub right now. So get those muscles loosened up, Kareem. You did a hell of a job, and I appreciate you. I wasn't sure he had this kind of game in him when they brought him back again. I was concerned because you tell me, I feel like he hit his wall earlier than week 12 last year. And so to put this game on him this late in the season, I was a little worried about it.
Yeah, no, I think he's been in better shape. He was in better shape this year than he was last year. Again, when you have the entire offseason proper with a football team and you go in knowing what you're doing. I have been very adamant that he's been the best running back in Kansas City since they didn't really address it. And this proved me right. Honestly, the injury to Isaiah Pacheco has pretty much shown me every down he needs to be the 1A, if not just the pure one. Isaiah Pacheco has to be the guy getting him a spell because Kareem Hunt is not going to give you a 30-yard run if he finally gets into open space and can like we see Isaiah Pacheco do. Like he doesn't have that speed. But what we did see is that he can knock off 15+ yard runs if you actually block for him, and he can get to those spaces, and he finishes runs just like Jonathan Taylor does. You watch those guys play. Jonathan Taylor's a way more explosive. He has a better he can run outside zone more. He's a bit more I think he's just better at his angles right now than Kareem Hunt is. He's not as big as Kareem. He's a little more narrow, but what Kareem gives you is just a guy who's going to churn out positive yards probably 50-60% of the time. And that's what this offense needs. They don't need somebody who can't find the hole, who has to be guided to it. And at the end of the day, if you give Isaiah Pacheco less work, I think you're going to get more out of him.
6 forced missed tackles today from Kareem Hunt. Had 104 yards on the ground, right? 70 of them, 70 came after contact. That's the issue. Pops doesn't give you that. You can't grind it out on second contact. Like no, and that's the thing. So they are different backs. They're complementary, and they do need to spell each other, but they are definitely not the same guy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Cue Ball. Yeah. What's up with Pat this year? As Dan pointed out, he's missing throws and not taking the open yard for a handful of yards in search of the home run. I think he's uncomfortable playing from behind. He's almost, in that case, reverting to Texas Tech days when they were down all the time and he was throwing bombs because he was trying to get them back into it. This showed a little bit of maturation for Patrick Mahomes today. Yeah. To be in a tight game that you had to just come from behind, get to overtime, et cetera, and trust someone else to carry the load that isn't you. And I will say yet again, I was concerned when Kareem Hunt came back to this team. Patrick Mahomes was one of the first guys to say, I know he's changed and I know I can trust him. And he showed it today.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. Every great quarterback needs to have a good run game too. Patrick Mahomes has been the offense since he took over. They haven't really had a great run game. They've had a couple of years where they've had a decent run game. Obviously, Kareem Hunt in that first year was also fantastic for them until he was dismissed from the team. But at some point, defenses say, we're not letting this guy beat us anymore. We don't want to do it. He still can, as he showed today when the game was on his shoulders and he had to throw the ball more. He still did a good job in some of those situations. But giving him a real run game will only help him and the offense. And I'll even venture to say that this isn't a real asterisk run game. It's what you have because you can't access outside zone and you refuse to let yourself try.
This becomes clear today that as the Bills lost, a very good point there, Punk, and you win a tight game, something you haven't been able to do. It's a turning point for those two teams. Now, you're still chasing not just this Indianapolis Colts team, but you're chasing the New England Patriots of all teams that I don't think we've said that recently. And now the Ravens are a top 4 seed because of just how bad the AFC North is. Yeah. The Steelers' complete collapse is laughable at this point, but it does make life harder for the Kansas City Chiefs. So we have a lot more coming. Thank you for your support, Punk. They actually started throwing outs and crossers. You're right, Percy. That happened. That opened up the passing game. It certainly did. And you heard the broadcast call it twice. They ran, by my count, 4 deep crossers where you have that over route, arcing over and taking the safety's attention. That's key to this game as well that they need to get back to. So some elements of what they need to do. It feels like, yet again, for all those who think Andy doesn't hold anything back, BS. He doesn't attack at full strength until he has to. And this felt like they finally reached the point like, holy crap, we're going to piss our whole season away if we don't actually go out and play our brand of ball now. And they turned it back on.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely, something clicked when you're down 20-9 in the fourth quarter. I don't know why it took that long, but, here we are.
Yeah. Beef, appreciate you. Yes, hopefully it is a turning point for the rest of the season. Thank you, and welcome to the memberships. 2 months in the can. We appreciate you. 5 from Rosifus. Nice to see you, pal. Past few years, they've trained Mahomes to either throw it deep or throw it quickly. Intermediate passes on time from the pocket just aren't happening, but we got a glimpse of it today. I think they can yet again.
And I would say that earlier this year, when the offense was on track, playing against some of the worst defenses in football, we did see the on-time throws over the middle of the field. Patrick looked more comfortable with behind the offensive line. So I do think that they can access it. It's just more about the run game and willingness to do it. And I think that we might see that coming forward just a little bit.
I have a tendency to think that as well. We'll see what the next evolution is and what they let out of the bag next. Jeff, welcome to the memberships. Nice to see when somebody joins live. Always a good time.
Love it.
Cheers to you. Hutchins, hope you're doing well. Kareem with 100 yards and the W. It's a nice double take, isn't it? Thank you, Double Dog. Appreciate you, and thanks for the support. They got to double down on that, and they have to continue to come back to it because that's what's going to help them, at least for now, get to the point where they can rack these up because they have a lot of work still ahead of them. This is not the end of the season. This is just the next step. Hannah, thank you. Always contributing around here. Colts gave Taylor the ball 16 times for 58 yards. Game ball goes to Spags in the defense. For all of Chris Jones' haters, he comes through several times on big plays. I think she's absolutely right on both accounts. And if it wasn't for that one play, Jonathan Taylor would have had his worst day of the season against the Chiefs defense.
And I felt it coming too. Like I knew it, that 3rd and 1, they're going to run outside. I'm like, that's going to pop. Like I just know it's going to pop because of the way that the defense was aligned. It's like, if you get all the blocks right, there's nobody in the back end. Luckily, Brian Cook was able to push him out, but that's what you have to do. I said that the only thing I really wanted to see from the defense this week was a plan for Warren outside of them just forgetting about him on a simulated pressure on 3rd down. They did a good job on Tyler Warren, and that was what I wanted to see because the play action game with him has been so devastating, and that's been a problem for the Chiefs defense. So the run game, I knew that Spags was going to give you something there. Again, they did a good job. I think that Mike Pennell, Derek Nottie had some good block take-ons today to allow linebackers to flow underneath, which is what we haven't really seen a lot of. So I think overall what we did get to see collectively was the Chiefs defense against the run really buy in. And then once you get Daniel Jones with 2 or 3 incompletions, we actually see how bad he is. When he doesn't have a run game, when he doesn't have the play action game, when he is asked to drop back and beat pressure and throw the football to win a football game, he can't do it. He nearly threw a pick to Jamari Connor, who was sitting right there. Like, Daniel Jones isn't good. So I hope that people understand that's why we were saying you have to get after Daniel Jones. You can't let him be out quick, out now. You can't let him be comfortable. No, for sure.
Yeah, that's the key, is that guy is easily made uncomfortable. Reed, thank you. Another 5.5-year member here.
Thank you.
Cruising along. Very much appreciated. What changes need to be made to make it to the playoffs? I'll tell you the number one thing that has to be made is you have to be willing to put your game plan out there now. This was them saying, Spags, go for it. Run game, go for it. You can't forget the lessons that you learned and prove to yourself in this game. That's what I'm worried about.
Correct. You can't go back to the hubris that it was, because Andy Reid came into this game with coaching hubris. He said, I'm going to do the same stuff I've been doing, and I call an RPO in the second play. And the Colts said, yeah, we know what you're going to do. And then they said, at least it felt like, Patch, if they were RPOs called, I would have to go back and see. However, we got a lot more handoffs, and that was what we wanted to see. So it's about the mentality. I've been talking about this for weeks. The change is that the mentality has to be reset a little bit. This game has to be rewired into the way they operate the offense. It has to be more under center runs. They got back to it a little bit more today. They got predictable with it too at times, where you're under center, maybe run a little bit of play action in the second half there in the fourth quarter to stop them from keying on the under center, because they went to it a little bit too much. But it's about the mentality for me.
I agree completely. We are going to get to the speed round here.
Yeah.
As it looks like we're getting ready for Locked On. As the pressers are ending, it looks like Chris Jones is still up there. But We're going to get there pretty quick. Thank you, Reed. And thank you again for being a member of such longevity. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, Jacob, as you always do. Always generous around here. Nice to see you. Did need to stop trying to put so many players in the middle. I actually liked Romo talking about the Chiefs need to play outside the numbers. They do, but they have to make sure that they're actually attacking with it. Just playing guys out there doesn't necessarily do it. It's down to Patrick and exploiting those and understanding, especially they used to love to run like 17-yard hitches where the player stops and comes back to Pat on a timing route. They need to get back to that. I don't think I've seen one in I don't know how long.
Patrick also missed like Juju Smith-Schuster wide open on a crosser.
True.
There were a couple of times where they want to get to them outside the numbers, but they have to go from left to right. So sometimes it takes a little bit more time, and it didn't feel like he was set in those today. It didn't feel like he was comfortable. And then down in the red zone, they ran the exact same play twice in a row. To win the football game, you run crossers, guys that just sit in the middle of the field, which is another thing that we have talked about on this channel. The film review from last week, I talked about how this is what they're doing. They are condensing your offense. You guys run to the middle of the field. Defense is fine. Go for it. Beat us outside the numbers. They won't let their receivers run real routes. They did more today.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I feel like they're still saving. They open it up someday. They have to keep the playbook open, in my opinion. Thank you, Jacob. I know you got a couple more here, pal. We'll get them to them fast. Jeff, thank you, and welcome again. Let's go. Beat the Colts 8-2 Colts. What did y'all like from this game? Is it what can they grow from? And the Best Chiefs channel. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jeff.
What I really liked is that everybody contributed, except for special teams. We'll get to that. But the defense stepped up. This was a game where, other than Patrick's mistakes early, I feel like the run game was there. The offensive line was playing well. There was a couple of drops. So I'll say the receivers as well in the first half. After that, it became a full team, everybody pulling in the same direction. That's what they have to have.
I think for me, the thing that I like about this game is that Spags finally just said, F it. Like, an F it, Spags is what this defense and team honestly really needs. Because if you're going to be playing from behind, you obviously want to be playing from the lead, because that allows him to be crazy and do his crazy stunts and stuff and rotate safeties and be blitzes. We got to see it more. Yeah, we got to see it more now. You have to let them play a little bit more in man coverage. No Williams is a good man cover corner. He's not playing again. I'm not happy about that, but I am happy that we're seeing CRW out there a little bit more.
Right? Like, there's got to be something going on. Like, guys, there's also plenty of things that happen in practice all week long that get guys either playing time or less playing time. Something must have happened. I don't know what it is, but he does have the ability. I'm guessing it's a discipline thing about being where you're supposed to be and playing the technique you're supposed to play. I don't know that for a fact, but we will find out as we go along, because he will be back on the field. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jacob. Do the Chiefs make a move for Pierce? I know it's late in the season. Any O-line depth that could go snag off of practice squads? What do you think?
I don't know, man. If they were going to keep going under center, I think that would be the best way to use Pierce, because that's where he's best. Dameon Pierce is not a shotgun runner. That he's even zone, really. He is better in the power game. He's better with pullers and guys that allow him to get into space. That's where his vision is best. He's not the best guy in trying to figure out some of those zone runs. But if they're going to be under center more, then sure. But the fact they didn't put a waiver claim on him. They feel very comfortable with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I feel like that's just going to be the thing with Pacheco coming back. I don't think they make a move.
Yeah, you're probably right. I hope you're wrong, but you're probably right. Didn't know I needed to start Hunt over Taylor in fantasy today. Very good point. If you guys saw my Twitter account, my team is in shambles. Everyone is hurt or on the bench. It's crazy. I have too many guys on IR. So I probably should have done the same thing. So cheers to you. Whale turd. Sometimes you just got to use the name, right? Can Mahomes reset inaccuracy late in the season? Can he change what's going on?
Yes, he can. And I think some of what we saw the end of the fourth quarter and in overtime can help that. The inaccuracy downfield is something that he's been struggling with over a few seasons now. And whether it's comfort in the player, whether he's trying to lead too much, or whether he's rushing his mechanics, which I think all three things are true, that has to change, because they want to be aggressive down the field. There are going to be some opportunities to do that against the Cowboys, whose defense is not very good against the pass. He has to stop rushing. I think throwing the ball down the field, he's rushing, and we're seeing it now in his feet through not just his footwork mechanics, but his progressions. He feels sped up again. The offensive line is giving you time. Like, I understand it. You got to slow yourself down just a little bit.
It will help. There's no way around that, but let's see if he can do it. Shout out to Daryl Sparks, one of the super flex, one of our 5-year plus members, hit 60 months just now. And I know he actually has a few more months than that. There was some building stuff going on in there. So cheers to you, Daryl. Something good is they play like this. They follow this plan. They can win out the rest of the season. That's what something good is. And I hope it works.
One more good thing. The way they played after the fumble.
Yes.
Almost every other team loses that football game. And this team earlier in the season loses that football game. The way they played after the fumble, defense is how you feel good about them going forward if they can rattle off some of these wins.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Lucky Spade, welcome into the memberships. Nice to see you. Chris, Andy heard you and Dan watching the podcast, and I said better do it for them this game. I hope so. To our friends inside the building, thank you for your patronage. And we are happy to consult whenever you would like an outside opinion, because I appreciate you guys giving us a listen every now and then. So
absolutely.
Back to the questions. Can we get Brashard Smith on the kickoffs? It's a good idea, Pat. I like it. And I know they tried it in training camp. I just wonder if, again, one of the reasons they're not running him is because they want to unleash that in the postseason or near the end of the season. And I wonder if they're unwilling to risk him due to the physicality, the possible injury concerns. I wouldn't mind seeing it because it would give it some juice.
We got to do something. He's got to get the ball. If he's not going to get the ball as a running back, let's see what he can do as a returner, because Nico's just not cutting it, man. It's bad.
As much as I like Nico, I agree. You need fresh blood in there, and I don't know that Taekwon's the guy to do it. It's just not quite the dynamic guy that I wasn't
that bad, but again, we're right. Looking for just a bit above that.
Yeah. Beach, I will take this W and sleep well. 95 is the D line. You're right. He is. My guy Ashton, I felt was collapsing pocket better today, but he wasn't getting loose around the corner any better today. Unless I missed something, Dan. Do you tell me if I'm wrong?
This is what we've seen, and it's unfortunate. I want everyone to get better. I do. I want Ashton Gillard to get better. Guys, I'm frustrated with the way that it's constructed.
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you, Beach. Thank you, Tao. Tao, nice to see you. It's been a while. Who knew that we use our interior line and hunt to convert on 3rd and 1? Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas to all Chiefs fans. Thank you, Tao. It's good to see you. I know it's been a bit, but from your lips to everyone's ears, I hope that they listen to that. And we're going to wrap it up here on this one, folks. Was Rumble correct when he said that they need to start focusing on the passing game outside the numbers? Lay it all out. Incorporate that. But if you were calling the next game plan, what does it look like?
I mean, I think you have to start a little bit here and there. They usually want to get some of those crossers into that part where it is going outside the numbers, because you can generate some yards after catch. We saw that with Rashee Rice multiple times, but you do need some of the timing routes. You need to have some of the quick outs. You need to have, I think that Patrick did a really nice job early in this football game of hitting the flat when it was there and getting those yards. That was another thing that they need to do. That's technically outside the numbers. It's underneath the defense, but it gets you in those situations with guys to have the ball in space. And whether it's getting outside the numbers from an out route or a comeback, like Brian was talking about earlier, something to allow them to run real routes, I think is very important, and not just attacking space, because defenses are taking that space away underneath. You can't just get rid of that from your offense entirely. But I think that we saw when you do hit a flat route here, when you do hit an out route there, when you do hit one of those deep intermediate over routes, the defense can't just clamp down on everything underneath. And we did see some success start to bubble up from all of that. And when you get all those guys coming to the middle of the field, you're going to find behind them Travis Kelce again. They're going to watch the tape. Travis Kelce wide open for a touchdown. Would have been wide open. Multiple guys down the field screaming open. A couple of crossers that opened up that Patrick didn't get to. They were there in this football game. It's about hitting it and, again, executing those plays, because I think when we see this offense run routes properly with wide receivers and let them do what they do best instead of just attacking space or attacking defenders, that's when we actually see the best version of this offense.
Agreed. I lied. There's 2 more points to make. They're not questions so much as I don't think we talked about the D-line enough. So Coach Dove had the point. CJ needs to be rested during the week moving forward. He is the same stage of his career as Kelsey. That's a good point. And on a short week like this, we're going into something pretty nasty. So rest is utterly important for Chris in particular. So I agree with you. And then his point is the D-line coaching talent or both? I believe it is squarely both.
I personally believe it's talent. I think that the coaching could be a little bit better, but Joe Cullen is one of the best defensive line coaches in football, in my opinion. I think that they just don't have the talent outside of Chris Jones, and I've been that of that opinion for quite a while now. Okay,
cool. That works. We will see what comes of it. Everybody say thank you to Gary and FLDB and our mods for being in here. We very much appreciate you. You guys rock, and we're going to have a good time. We will be live tomorrow night answering Q&A like we always are. I'm going to be live over on Locked On here in a little bit, so check that out. We'll have more for you. Have a great night, Dan. You have a good night. Say hi to the ladies for me.
Everybody else too. Enjoy the win, guys. Enjoy the win.
Yes, take it away. Have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.